Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of UC Weekly News. I'm your host, David Danto, and we're in Manhattan, in the heart of New York City today. We've got a couple events to go to. First of all, NAB-NY, which I'm standing at now in the Javits Center, and then we're going to go visit the Planar open house and visit some of our friends there and see what's going on. So lots of friends we're going to talk to, lots of things to see. Stay with us. We'll be right back. From NAB-NY here at New York City's Javits Center. This is David Danto, and I'm going to be jumping down to the show floor and looking at some of the announcements, looking at some of the vendors, talking to some of the people that are here at the NAB-NY show, which is also co-located with AES New York, the Audio Engineering Society, and let's see if there's anything new that we can report on. It's always an interesting, fascinating show. The Javits Center is always very hard to get to in New York City because it's all the way at the end of 11th Avenue, and there are very few. Now there's a subway that goes here, but there are very little public transportation that goes to the area. So after cramming into a taxi, I'm glad I'm here. Stay with me. So while I'm here at NAB-NY, I ran into Chris Neto and Lloyd, and both of them have just about lost their voice, but I interviewed them anyway, which was probably pretty cruel, but they had some important things to say, so take a look. How you doing, guys?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
So we're here at NAB-NY, and I have a couple of guests, and I'm going to do this inelegant pan with the camera, so you can take a look at Lloyd and Chris Neto. Hello, Joe. Hello, Chris.
Hi there.
How's everything?
So, Chris, why are you here?
Why am I here?
At NAB-NY? The broadcast show.
Broadcast show? You mean the AV integrator, distributor of things?
Your career, my career. Yeah. What do you do? I know what I'm doing here. I started in broadcast.
One day I'm at a UC conference. Next day I'm at a broadcast conference. Do you not see how it works?
I see it, but I'm offering you the opportunity to
say
tell
it. All
them.
right.
Yeah.
So we build spaces. Not we as in my company, but integrators and AV in general build spaces. It's wonderful that we understand, and I'm now ready to romanticize AV. We're great at doing the audio, the video, the lighting, and the control, as some t-shirts have even said. What's wonderful about that is that is a physical space that everybody's kind of doing their thing, right? So what we don't quite do really well is we build the space. What's the content being created? We don't care typically what the room's purpose is. We just build these spaces out. Broadcast, you have to think about the content, where it's what you're doing, and the space is built for that, and where it's going. So for an AV integration company that is building those spaces, make it part of your mindset that something that's being created in the room you built is going to go somewhere. And what is that? And that is called broadcast. Right? So in the broadcast space, you now have, or the media entertainment space, as some people have termed it, you go past the gazintas and the gazadas. That's for the integrators who understand that.
Yes.
And
you're in New York, it works.
It works. And then you go out into the real world. So in a show like NAB, once you get past the physical space and the equipment and hardware that we are wonderful at doing, let's start having the conversations about the transport out. Let's start talking about what's the content you're going to. So before it gets to the final product or the end user or the viewer, it goes through an editing process. It goes through processes. There are things here at this show that we do not see at other shows because it doesn't make sense for AV. What I'm trying to do is help make sense to the AV folks. So coming here and be able to do coverage of a show for my company and to better educate our integrators and our partners that, yes, you're good with the hardware, let's start talking about the services that come out. You create the content, an editor will look at that. Do you physically hand the disc? No. It goes up into the magical world of cloud. And in the world of integration, that usually falls under cloud. Oh, that's AV integration, that's UC. Oh, what's UC? That's awesome. There's a cloud provider. In the world of broadcast, that cloud is now connecting to a server that allows 3 or 4 editors across the planet to all work on that same file together and collaborate, not just in a unified communication space, but now in an editing and content creation and creativity space.
Well, you know, I've been attending NAB when it was in Vegas.
It's because you're old school broadcast,
right,
dude.
For more than 30 years at this point. We used to, one of the taglines for the show used to be where content comes to life.
Okay.
Later on, one of their taglines was broadercaster. I'm
Wow.
a broadercaster.
Weird.
Not just broad. So So this idea that what's happening here isn't just for television.
Yes.
It's for content.
Yeah.
Is something, and now Starin is going to pick up the mantle with some of that?
Yeah, not only, it's not just, so a prediction that I made a bunch of years ago, and I kind of said it was true, and I got a lot of slack for it on AV and the AM, was about the content, right? You know, there's times where I go, hey, analytics are the new designer, and that rubs up the people. They start poking, I poke and prod the audience, and next thing you know, everybody's like, analytics is not designing your conference room. I am. Fine. The world of broadcast.
Gotta let him get a word in edgewise, Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just going. So.
You're next.
I'm focused.
It's okay.
Joey,
Go.
I will give you the floor.
Go.
So what I see is that with broadcast now is that it is not a TV audience. It's not necessarily that when a 16-year-old in his mom's basement is creating content that's going out to the world, why aren't other people taking it more serious? Now, granted, you are not a 16-year-old in your mom's basement doing the content creation, but what we have found through my travels, through various shows that I attend, and even going to a podcast conference that I recently went to, is that the corporates are now finally getting the message of video first. It's something that we've talked about in the business conversation. Beyond the email, try sending me a one-page email and ask me to read it. It ain't happening. Try sending it.
Yeah, but Chris, that's you.
Try sending a 2-paragraph email to my son and telling him to read it. That ain't happening. But if you send a 30 or 60 or 120-second clip to both of my kids and say, watch this, and it is a corporate message about what tomorrow is, what is happening at the office, they will watch a 120-second clip. So that production, that video, this new generation that's attached to video is it's a new way of communicating. And the more you see it, the more the people do it, the more they're adapting to it. And corporate has now taken that on. So now you're getting executives that will sit and record a 2-minute video for what was once a press release or a message. That message is now better communicated. And it's not just a video recording off a video conference. It is a produced thing. And it's very simple. It's a lower third. It's a bug. It is maybe a graphic kind of explaining it, but it is a personal message, and you feel
but
it.
The most important question is it horizontal or vertical?
Oh God, I am not going there. But the beauty of it is that you can do that with editing. You can't do that on the fly. You can't do that just by hitting record.
Video is a landscape business. All these people doing portrait, I don't care how many followers they have, they don't understand what's going on.
So,
all right,
now,
so
Joey,
you'll walk us down to the Starin booth downstairs?
There's not a Starin booth. What we are doing,
no,
there's not a Starin booth. All of our brands are out here. Brands such as EditShare, Telestream, Bird Dog, you name it, from the physical hardware that everybody's good and familiar with to the software side.
Wait, no Starin booth?
No Starin booth.
No dogs?
No dogs.
No puppies?
No puppies.
Nothing cute?
No recording
Nothing,
studio.
no,
No, man.
geez.
I am the booth
just
today.
Neto. It's just Neto.
It's me and the entire
you
team.
got it.
I have to digress.
Okay.
My
so
team is here.
Deep breath.
Yes. Joey, please.
Joe.
Yes.
People don't know who you are. Tell everybody. I mean, everybody knows who Chris and I am. Who are
No.
you?
Wrong.
I'm Joey Lloyd.
The
I am the
level of
Senior
fame
Director
is
of Business
outrageous.
Development at AVIXA, the Audiovisual and Integrated Experience Association.
So why are you here?
This whole broadcast thing, everything that Chris just so eloquently talked about, it's happening, and that corporate broadcaster, they are disruptors. And as the first stop for all things in the Pro AV world, we are absolutely going to be a part of that. We've been a part of it. We've been providing education. We provide those standards. We bring that audience together. And at our shows like ISE and Infocom, you can find our AVIXA TV studio. The true activation of what we see here at an NAB, you can now find at Infocom. You can now find at ISE. So that's why I'm here.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there because I can't find anything at ISC. You know, I wander around there for sometimes a couple
Hush.
hours at a time. Was it 8 halls this year?
It is, yes. But I had the lovely experience of being at IBC this year. It was my first time back at the Rye in Amsterdam since 2020. And I walked in and I went, oh God, I have some PTSD. Because if you want to talk about confusion and not finding anything, the Fira is fantastic. It's straight, it's logical, you just walk down the line.
And I read that there's a new entrance opening this year. Is
yes,
that right?
Yes.
So there's now going to be 3 ways of getting into
yes,
the Fira.
And I believe you can now get into the back entrance so you can get to the audio demo rooms a little bit easier because it's a little bit of a walk, it's a little schlep.
Okay, now say all of that in Catalan. Wait, no, I'm sorry, no. All right,
the hardest part about the Fira is not navigating the Fira, it's trying to get out of the Fira when everybody, all 80,000 folks are trying to get it out at the same time. That's
the first time that I went there, I stayed at a Hampton Inn across the street.
That's
and
the way to go.
Everybody was waiting for a taxi.
You were in your room watching.
I walked where I was watching and waving from the window, and now I can't get into it. That little Hampton Inn is something like $1,000 a night.
It's
crazy.
So
Hampton Inn, no less.
Yeah, and so, but anyway, so does this mean that there's going to be more broadcast or more content pieces when we go to ISE and Infocom this year?
I think so. I mean, ISE does a tremendous job already with a lot of their partners in creating content. I can speak a little bit more to the AVIXA side of that rather than each and individual show. But we've been working on this little thing called AVIXA TV for a couple of years. It's been that live stream of Infocom for a couple of years, and last year at Infocom 24, we had our first really in-person total activation, and we have an XR studio on the show floor. We are filled with all kinds of broadcast partners such as Ross Video, who have helped us bring that technology to life. We've got lots of other partners coming in and being involved. It's where we shoot our live stream. It's where we shoot podcasts all day long. It is where we are showcasing what you may have seen elsewhere. If you don't get to an NAB, if you don't get to an IBC, you're going to get to see it with us and learn about it and have that, have that booth tour, so to speak, have that conversation, learn about the things that Chris is talking about. I mean, it's amazing to think about, how do you communicate with your own employees internally, but then there is the true corporate disruptors, the brands that are using their own channels to distribute their entire new, seasonal catalogs. Louis Vuitton last year put out their entire spring line over their own broadcast channel. They didn't pay their media partners. They didn't go and do their own fashion shows and pay all the people. Man. All in-house production. That's the corporate disruptor. That's the growth.
Terrific. Somebody wants to find out more about what Starin is doing or to reach out to you, Chris, how do they do that?
On the X's, which I know you're not a fan of, on X you can find me at Chris_Neto every Sunday doing #AVIXA. That's where you find me on Sundays throughout the week. Obviously I'm part of the AV Tubes community and everything that's wonderful about that across all platforms. But the best way to get a hold of me, Christopher Neto CTS on LinkedIn. I put that in because there is an Australian guitarist by the name of Chris Neto, so I don't like to confuse myself for him, though he does have some good music, and he's a lot nicer, prettier than I am, I guess. I don't know. He's a singer-songwriter. I'm not that cool.
I've seen you play the guitar. You should play the guitar.
No.
Do you?
No.
Is that a thing?
Everybody in AV plays the guitar.
Oh, is that a thing? Oh, we're going to find out if that's a thing.
No, it's not a thing. And the next
is that really a thing?
Everybody in AV is a frustrated musician.
I'm a former DJ, dude. Just leave it at that.
Okay, DJ.
And I learned my thing. But the next place you'll see me at least pop up on the webs, I will be heading down to Atlanta for Georgia State University shindig that we're going to be doing. And then the week after that, I am going across the pond again. I will be at Midwich's Tech Expos, which is their big trade show that they do with all their brand partners and invite all their customers in to see what's latest and greatest. It's kind of their end of the year close of things, and it gets everybody that little bit of we're gonna tantalize you what's coming in February in Barcelona, which I'm now scheduled to go as well. So I will see you in Barcelona.
You may see. Are you doing digital signage?
I will lighting? I'll be there at DSE.
DSE and LDI. I couldn't remember the name.
DSE, LDI. I'll be there. That's my last.
Although I'm a little bit sad that they're doing it during NFR, during Rodeo Week. So it's going to be a crazy time.
Absolutely.
In Vegas.
You know what though? You can wear your Wranglers and it'd be cool.
I always wear my Wranglers. Anyway, I'm not showing you my chaps. But you're on camera and I'm not.
Thank God we're sitting.
So Joe, same question for you. How can people find out more about what AVIXA is doing and reach out to you if they have a question?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us at avixa.org. You can find us on AVIXA Exchange, XCHANGE. Check out AVIXA TV. And you can reach me at jLloyd, LLOYD, at avixa.org, and on all the socials as well.
So now we're up about 10 blocks north of where we were at the Javits Center. We're at the Planar showroom and studio for their open house. Planar makes a number of really terrific visual displays, and they have a number of partners here. We're going to look around and chat with some of their people and let you know what's going on from this event. So I'm now here with Lainie Mataras from Planar. Hi, Lainie.
Hey.
What the hell are we doing here today?
I don't know. I woke up and there was a party in Starin.
You know, there are always parties in your showroom.
Yeah, that's very true.
What's today's party?
So this is our traditional yearly New York City open house, and it's a full day event. We have industry partners. So this year we have T1V, Lightwear, Shure, RP Visual, QSC in our space, and demoing the products and inviting people over for a full day of education and fun and socialization and networking. And,
so let's talk about
like,
Planar first, just for a second.
Sure.
What can people see in this facility when they walk through it?
It's a great facility. We have this is the New York City showroom. We're on 599 11th Avenue, right off the West Side Highway. You can see pretty much every pixel pitch that you could imagine, from 5.2 millimeter all the way down to 0.7 millimeter. We have a bunch of different product families, so you'll see that throughout the space, different size walls, whether it's 4K or 1080p or 720. And then we also have the ability to test out content. So right now we have some really great content from a Brooklyn content creator called Volvox Labs playing here. But we open our place open for other people to give us content to show off on our displays. So pretty much anything you want to see, you can see in the space.
And if you have people that are interested in seeing the video wall products,
Sure.
or seeing how they'll work with some of the partners that you have here today, this is where they can come and take a look at everything in action.
Yeah, absolutely. So this place is always busy. We're booked all the time. We can do tours, full day, half hour, education sessions. Normally for me, I work specifically with the consultants and the architects. So I'll do tours around on how content looks on your displays, what pixel pitch works for your application. And I think you leave here with a better understanding on budgets, usability, content, pixel pitch distances, aspect ratios. So we try to really educate you when you come here.
How long have you been with Planar now?
5 years.
Are you enjoying it?
6 years. It's going to be 6 years.
Oh,
I
okay.
love it. I love it.
You know, I was just out at NAB of New York, down at the
Yeah.
Javits Center, having lunch with a friend of mine. We were trying to figure out when we met each other. 37 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So 6 years is nothing. But
Yeah.
has it been a fun ride?
It's been great. I mean, I worked for Crestron for 30 years, and I never thought it could be better than that. And I rep Planar for a bunch of years, and I love it. I love it like family. And I know that's probably not the right thing to say about business from some of your posts, but it's really a great group of people, and it's very tight-knit, and we're headquartered in Oregon, so I get to see people quite often, as opposed to going overseas and seeing people. It's really nice.
So you're working today.
Yeah, well, I mean, it takes it's a team effort. You know, we have there's like 350 people RSVP'd for today, which is big, and it's a nice space. It can fit that. I hope 350 people don't show up, but
That's how it works in New York.
It takes a lot of planning to make sure that your experience coming here is, you get everything you want out of it, and you feel like it's a home environment. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that you're welcome.
So if somebody wants to find out more about Planar or reach out and contact you, how should they do that?
So planar.com is our website. You can go see us generally there. To reach out to me, I'm on all the social media, but specifically most responsive on LinkedIn.
Thanks very much, Lainie.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. Appreciate the
So good
invitation.
seeing you. You're welcome.
And return to the office. We'll talk about benefits, problems, and opportunities. So the good things that come with AI, the perhaps offshoots that may not be so wonderful, and then opportunities to further implement it and think about it as we design spaces. And then we'll explore the future, a little bit of what if.
That'll be where you start to exceed what you can do with individual personal devices, where you kind of have to force a connection with the teams. Just by coming together in the space and having that conversation, and with the idea that, okay, maybe I've activated it to say, okay, now pay attention, and so you can interact with us. Speak up if you need to, but otherwise just do what you think is right for us in the background. That's going to have tremendous value.
So that's it for this week's episode of UC Weekly News. Thanks for staying with us on our trip through Manhattan. Join us for UC Weekly News next week, when my guest will be Tyler Chen from Yealink. He'll be talking about their new A40 and where Yealink got its start in our industry. We'll see you next week. Take care.